Hello, Rhonda here with a Pilates Yoga Fusion workout to help strengthen the back and mobilize and keep the spine flexible. Let's go ahead and get started on all fours. Let's go ahead and make our way into a quadruped position with the wrists in line with elbow, knees directly underneath the hips. Let's go ahead and start with some cat-cows. Take an inhale. Exhale to flex the spine, drawing the navel in, and then inhale to extension. Rounding the spine, and then extending, widening through the collarbones. Let's do this 3 more times, 3 more rounds. Last time here. Let's go ahead and bring our spines back to neutral. We're going to reach the left arm out and then we're going to thread the needle. Inhale to open and reach. Exhale to thread. Moving in a flow. Two more. This last one here, we're going to hold the thread. Let's set our left temple onto the mat and we're going to reach that right arm forward. Let's hold for 3 breaths here. We're going to come back onto all fours and thread the needle on the other side, this time reaching the right arm up and then threading. Inhale to open, exhale to thread. 3 more repetitions. This last one will hold. The right side of our temple resting onto the mat and then stretching that left arm long. Let's hold for 3 breaths here. Go ahead and make our way back onto all fours. Now moving into bird dog. We're going to reach the right arm and then lift the left leg. Take a little pause and then switch. The left arm reaches. Right leg stretches long and switch. Right arm, left leg. Take a little pause and switch. Left arm, right leg, keeping the hips nice and level. Let's go 1 more on each side. Right arm, left leg. Pause and then switch. Left arm, right leg, keeping the core engaged. Bring it back to all fours. Now we're going to come into sternum drop. So we're going to keep our arms straight. We're just bringing our shoulder blades in together. Coming into scapular retraction. I like this one because it's good for the posture. Last 3. 2 and 1. Let's go ahead and bring our spine back to neutral. We're going to shift our hips, bringing our heels towards our hips in an extended child's pose. We'll hold for 3 more breaths here. And then from here, we're going to come into a downward facing dog. So let's go ahead and roll the toes under, hover the knees off the mat, lift the hips up towards the ceiling. And let's warm up the backs of the legs by pressing one heel down and then the other. Alternating right and left, right and left. Now let's go ahead and press both heels down towards your mat. See if you can lift your hips hips up even higher towards the ceiling. Get some good length in through the spine. We'll hold for 3 more breaths here. And then from here, we're going to shift into a plank. So keeping the back of the head in line with the upper back. If you need to modify, you can come down on your knees. Keeping that nice long line from the crown of your head to your heels. We're going to hold for about 4 more breaths here. Bend the knees, bring them onto the floor. We're going to come onto our bellies. We're going to extend our arms forward, pinky finger down. And then we're going to lift into extension as we drag the hands in towards the body. Inhale to lift. Pressing down with that pinky finger. One last lift. Let's hold here for a couple of breaths. And then slowly land. Okay, we're going to add a shoulder opener to this. So roll those shoulders back and down. Interlace your grip behind your back. Take an inhale to lift the chest up and hold and breathe. Two more breaths. And then slowly land, coming back to our counter pose, child's pose. And from here, we're going to make our way into a nice tall seated position. So let's go ahead and stretch our legs long onto the mat. Reach both arms up, out, forward and down. Head for the shins, the ankles, the toes. Whichever you can reach for. I'm going to use my 2-piece fingers to grab onto my 2 big toes and use the thumbs for thumb caps. So here, with each inhale and exhale, you're drawing your chin a little closer towards your thighs, finding some good length in through the back of the spine, as well as the hamstrings and the calves. Two more breaths here. Let's go ahead and sit up tall. Bring our arms parallel to the ground. We're going to come into boat pose. So as we slightly lean back, we're going to drag the heels in and we're going to lift one leg up and then the other in boat pose. The spine is long, the heart is lifted. Let's hold for 2 more breaths here. And then go ahead and land those feet onto the mat. Bring the soles of the feet together, maybe with those elbows pressed down on those inner thighs. And with that neutral spine, you're going to shift your weight slightly forward to open up through the groin. And then from here, you're going to cover your toes with your hands. And then you're going to round forward. Feeling a nice stretch at the back. And then on your next inhale, slowly come on up. Let's come into a seated wide stance. Let's bring one arm on the inside of the leg. That other arm comes up and over. Feel that nice stretch all throughout the right side of the body. 2 more breaths here. And then let's come up and over to the other side. The hand goes on the inside of the leg. Reach that opposite arm up and over. We'll hold for 2 more breaths here. And let's bring it back to center. Now we're going to come into Pilates saw. Let's go ahead and bring our arms out by our side. We're going to take an inhale through the center. Exhale, rotate, and then that pinky finger saws off that pinky toe. Come through the center, sit tall, rotate, reach, reach, inhale, center, rotate, stretch, stretch. Widening those arms through the center. Sitting up nice and tall through the center. Let's go 1 more on each side. Nice. All right. We're going to make our way into a side lying position with our knees bent, the heels are in line with our glutes. Our arms are going to be out in front of us, palms together, shoulders stacked. We're going to come into some book openers. So we're going to glide that top hand forward and then restack the hands and then glide the fingertips up the arm, across the chest, and then open up to the other side. You're going to come back the same way you moved into it. Inhale to open. Exhale to close the book. Let's do 1 more. Gliding the hand across the chest. This time we're going to hold it here. So holding that lying twist, trying to keep it nice and open through the shoulders. Feeling a gentle twist in through the spine. 2 more breaths here. And let's go ahead and come back onto our sides. We're going to come onto our elbow, our forearm, our shoulders directly above the elbow. We're going to come into clam. So let's make sure those heels are aligned with the glutes, opening and closing at the knee. We're going to do about 15 repetitions here. Five more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. All right, let's go ahead and stretch both legs long, restacking those hips. Now we're going to come into a side plank. Go ahead and lift those hips up. We'll hold for about 20 seconds here. Go ahead and modify if you need to by bending the bottom knee. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. All right. Before going up and over to the other side, we're going to come back onto all fours. We're on all fours here. We're going to extend the right leg, activate the glute. You're going to lift and lower that right leg with control, keeping the core engaged. We're going to be doing anywhere from about 10 to 15 repetitions. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, go ahead and bring the right knee back to its place on the mat. Extend the left leg, keeping the hips square. Lifting and lowering the leg with control. You should be feeling this in the glutes and the hamstrings, as well as a little bit in the lower back. Almost there. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. All right, let's go ahead and shift those hips once again into a child's pose. And then from here, we're going to bring our hips away from our heels, coming into a modified plank position. We're going to take a slow bend at the elbows, slowly descending until the front of our bodies are on our mats. Let's extend both arms up, pinky fingers down. We're going to come into swimming. We're going to lift the right arm and the left leg, and the left arm and the right leg. You can stay here nice and slow. If you want to make this a little bit more challenging, then you're going to pick up the pace. And swim. Do about 20 total here. For 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. All right. Let's go ahead and come back to all fours and stretch out the back once again in some cat-cows. A couple more rounds. And let's make our way onto the other side. Bending the knees, aligning the heels with the glutes. One arm on top of the other, palms together. Starting off with the book opener, so gliding the hand forward on top of the bottom one, and then bringing it across the arm, across the chest, and then reaching towards the floor. Go back the same way you came through, gliding the hand across the chest. Inhale to open, and then exhale to close. Two more. Reaching forward, gliding the hand, bringing it across the chest and over towards the floor. One last time. And then we're going to hold this one. Try to keep both shoulders down. In this nice, gentle, lying twist. 3 more breaths. All right, we're going to come onto our elbow. Keeping the heels aligned with the glutes, let's come into our clams. Lifting and lowering at the knees. Again, we're doing about 15 repetitions here. For 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. All right, let's go ahead and stretch both legs long. We're going to come back into that side plank for 20 seconds. Let's go ahead and lift those hips up, strengthening the core, the obliques. Again, if you need to modify, go ahead and bring the bottom knee down onto the mat. Just a few more seconds here. And then slowly lower. Nice. All right, we're gonna make our way onto our backs. Moving into a bridge, we're gonna first tilt our pelvis towards our midline. Lift the glutes, the lower spine, mid spine, upper spine. Take a big sip of air at the top. And then exhale to slowly lower. Upper, mid, lower, the tailbone land last. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, exhale, tilt, and lift the glutes, lower spine, mid spine, upper spine. Inhale at the top. Exhale to drop the sternum down first and then lower down, bone by bone. One last time. This time we're gonna hold at the top and we're gonna come into bridge marching, lifting one leg up and then the other. As we're lifting the leg, alternating right, left, we're trying to keep our hips level. Let's go one more on each side. Lift the hips up 1 more inch. Take an inhale, exhale, roll down 1 vertebra at a time. The tailbone lands last. Let's go ahead and bring the legs in tabletop position. We're going to come into single leg toe taps. So we're trying to keep that same angle from the thigh to the calf muscle, that 90-degree angle. And we're tapping the toes lightly onto the mat, keeping the pelvis stable. We're going to go 1 more on each side. Now keep the legs in tabletop position, hands behind the head, elbows wide. Let's come into some nice, easy crunches here. Feel free to bring your feet flat onto the mat. Maybe with each repetition, lift up a little higher in your crunch. It's an exhale to lift, inhale to lower. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. All right, let's go ahead and stretch both legs long and the arms overhead. Give yourself a nice spine stretch here. Take a couple of breaths here. Go ahead and bring your arms down by your side. Shoulders come away from your ears. We're gonna come into our roll up now. Flex the feet, anchor those legs. Reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale to lift the head. Scoop the belly in as you reach out and forward. And lower down, 1 vertebra at a time. Once the head lands, big inhale, exhale to roll on up. Keeping it a nice smooth movement. Big inhale as the head lands. Lift, lengthen, scoop, reach. Roll down 1 vertebra at a time. One last time. Nice. All right, we're going to float those legs back into tabletop position, coming into dead bugs. We're reaching both hands up towards the ceiling. We're going to stretch the right arm overhead and the left leg long. Bring it back to that start position. Now the left arm stretches, the right leg reaches towards the opposite side of the room. Alternating from one side to the other. Opposite limb stretch. As you're moving your limbs, you're trying to keep that spine neutral. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, let's go ahead and bring the soles of the feet up towards the ceiling. Massage the lower back in Happy Baby. Let's go ahead and plant both feet back onto the mat, and we're going to come into just one bridge, and we're going to hold it at the top. You can either keep your arms down by your side, pressing with your hands and your forearms, or maybe even interlace your grip underneath your torso, bringing the shoulder blades in together. We'll hold for 4 more breaths here. And slowly release, bringing your hips onto the mat. We're going to make our way into a kneeling position. So a little space between the knees. We're going to place our hands at the small of our backs. Open up through the shoulders. We'll just come into a light back bend here. Slowly drop your head back, bring your gaze up towards the ceiling, open up through the shoulders, widen through the chest. We'll take about 3 or 4 breaths here. And let's slowly bring it back to center. Come into easy seated pose, cross-legged position. Finish off with some breath work here. Inhale to sweep both arms up. Exhale, turn the palms out. Exhale all that stale air out. 2 more times. Last time here. Nice job.